I'm begging you to stop making these 3 super common mistakes which are gonna put you in extreme danger. And guys, no, I'm not trying to be a pirate. I don't need to look tougher. I just have an eye injury, cover it up, keeping it safe. Don't have to worry about it. Let's jump into this episode. As we develop our skills, we become more willing to try more dangerous techniques. Right at the beginning, we're keeping range. We're kind of like, okay, we're gonna stay far out here. Everything's safe. Then we start going, okay, we wanna try some fancier things. But as we try them, very often, we put ourselves in extreme risk. I wanna help you minimize that by making sure you're not making any of these 3 mistakes. And everybody keep in mind, if you wanna book a session with me, you wanna work with me one-on-one, there's a link down below. Just for January, I am back to doing Zoom privates. So let's start off and let's talk about the spinning side kick. One of the most powerful techniques that you can throw can generate extreme damage. But what people do very often is they leave themselves in a compromised position after they throw the kick. How do they do that? Well, they have 2 ways, or we have 2 ways. After we strike, and we hit here, we have 2 things we can do. Number 1, we can rechamber the same way that we went into the kick, which puts us back here. Number 2, we can hit and we can go the opposite direction. Now, if you've watched Conor McGregor fight, you'll know very often he'll be in his stance. He'd be in southpaw, but he's in his stance. He kicks and he drops right to here. So now he's done his stance switch. He went from, for him, what would be southpaw, and he hits, and then he's down into his orthodox stance for a moment. If your opponent shifts backwards, because you hit them so hard with that side kick, that's great. Because at the end of the kick, you still have distance. But you do not want to be at punching range at the end of the kick. And I see many people throw their spinning side kick, step forward, complete the rotation, and land right here. And at this position, you're going to be so compromised for a counter shot. And because you're coming out of the side kick, it's less likely that your hands are going to be right here. They're kind of out in this position. So I would caution against completing the spin, doing a 360, and I would say always hit your side kick right back to here. Because look at that distance which I'm able to recreate. Do that when you throw those spinning kicks, spinning side kick, spinning back kick, whatever you want to call it. Same. And keep yourself out of harm's way. The next technique, which really puts people at risk, is actually the body shot. The body shot is one of my favorites, especially off the lead arm. But it doesn't matter if it's the back arm, the front arm, the body shot is compromised because people try to maintain range. So they go, okay, this is where I throw my head punches. I feel like the body shot is a little further away, therefore I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna bring my head off the center line to stay safer. What does this do though? It puts us in a position where now we can't generate much power anyway. We have so much weight over the lead foot that when we try to turn, we try to pivot, we're not gonna be able to do that. So if I was out here and then I go, okay, here, there's no power, which means the counter is gonna be so much faster to come because this guy doesn't have to be concerned about anything hurting him. So we wanna make sure that when we throw our body shots, yes, we can bring our head off the center line to stay safe for a moment, but then when we actually launch it in, we bring our head right back over top our feet. Or even better, we just throw and we stay in position. We do not need to do this because it's gonna get you tagged in the head. So avoid that. The final mistake that I wanna talk about is how people get to the knee. They're out here, maybe they go, oh, I'm really good at clinch or I'm really good at knees on pads and I wanna do it. So I'm gonna come forward and I'm gonna crack in a knee straight away. If you're looking for a very safe way to disguise a knee, I would just say step in with a jab and then throw your knee. But sometimes I see people and they just really wanna lead with that knee. So how do I go about getting from this position to this position and actually execute my knee without getting punched? Because if I just walk straight in, especially if I'm trying to grab somebody, I'm trying to engage the clinch, I just go like this, there's that whole hole up the middle where all the person has to do is go bump and you walk in and you get smacked in the head. So the safe entry that I want you to work to get to the clinch or to get to knee range, if you're not going to engage the arms, is to go into a long guard position as we do the Thai shuffle hop forward. My knee comes up the middle. When my knee comes up the middle, I kind of make it like a front kick, but I guard right up in line with my belly button. So if any attacks come up the center, they're going to deflect off. I go with my long guard, I hop forward until my palm connects with what will most likely be their forearms. And now from here, I wrap up, and I can go to my knee. Or if I don't want to wrap up, I just come forward to here, and then I throw my knee directly. That's a safe way to enter, to start executing those knees without having those straight punches hit you in the head on the way in. Definitely avoid just walking forward and trying to grab. Does not work. Might work once or twice, but as soon as you get anybody proficient at striking, they're gonna go, no, no, no. And I'm just gonna stop you and hit you on your entry. And then all of a sudden you have no knees. So there are 3 things that you can correct that will stop you from getting hit as you try to execute your offense. Thanks for joining, guys. I will see you back here soon.